I am so excited. Welcome to Young Adult Edition. Today we are talking about probably my all-time favorite book topic. We are talking all about retellings, and you guys know retellings are a big thing in my author life. So we're talking all about retellings, and we've got an amazing guest author, Annie Sullivan. We're talking about her debut novel, A Touch of Gold, today. But first, I am joined by my fabulous co-host, Elle Beaumont. Elle, how are you doing today?
Great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really excited because I keep saying this, but we're talking about retellings, and it's one of my favorite topics. And you and I actually have some really cool retelling things going on right now, which we're going to talk about in just a second when we get to book world news. But I know you're really excited about retellings too, because you've got one coming up. We're going to talk about that too.
Yeah.
But before we get to any of that, you guys know we like to kick things off with the new releases of the week. So let's go ahead and talk for real quick, just a second, about what our new releases are. You can see them up on the screen. If you guys have tried these, if you are excited about these, let us know. And if there is a book out there that you know is coming out this week, go ahead and let us know so we can add it to our new releases here on Young Adult Edition. If you are joining us live, thanks so much for hanging out with us. We're super excited to see you all. Go ahead and leave us a comment and let us know what your favorite retelling is. We're talking all about retellings, fairy tales, and nursery rhymes, and all sorts of fun, fabulous things today. Let us know which one your favorite is, and we have some great questions we're going to be asking, but we want to hear your questions too. So feel free to drop us some notes down in the comments below. Alicia is here, and she's excited for retellings. Girl, yes, we're going to talk all about retellings today, and you actually are a retelling author, so stick around because we'll talk about your book too. I'm excited for it. Elle, so we're talking about book world news real quick. What do we have going on this week? We've got some cool stuff. I know you just went to a fun event, right?
I did. There is an annual huge book sale, and by book sale, I mean like there are 6 different tents, and each tent has like 5 tables underneath it. And there's a building full of books, and it's 6 books for $1. And not only is that a steal, but they have old books, like from the 1800s that have like the leather bound. I did not get any of those books this time around because I was with my children and they were like, I want my books, mommy. But I was, yeah, I know, children. They just gotta ruin it. No.
No, we're teaching the new generation to read. It's a good thing.
No, it is. But my children, they got their books, and then I ran through and I hit my sci-fi fantasy table. I scooped those up. But it's amazing because it is just tent after. It looks like a circus. There are so many tents there, and it's just amazing that people park for almost 2 miles to go to this book sale because it's so epic. It really is. And
cool.
I know. It's so cool. And it's only once a year that they have this, and they truck in like 700, almost 1,000 boxes of books to supply for this event.
Wow.
And then there's another book sale that I'll be going to this week. Like, I need any more books, but
For me right now, this conversation is like a throwback. My mother used to be a librarian, and she would go to the Scholastic warehouse sale. I used to get to go too. And it was one of those, like, you park forever away and you carry in suitcases to carry all the books, and like so much fun.
Oh, yeah. Like, I have like this huge bag, and I also gave my kids a bag, and they have like $1 for each DVD and everything. So I like just stockpiled on DVDs, never opened before. I mean, I love book sales. That's where I've gotten most of my library downstairs is book sales.
Nana says it's a book circus, and I'm like, yes, bring on the tents.
Yes, honestly, it really was. Like, I have pictures that I forgot to send KM, but I sent her the picture in a text, and you can, like, it really does look like a circus. Like, it's a big top tent.
Yeah. Yep, so much stuff going on. So cool. Guys, if you have book world news from the young adult area, let us know. We would love to hear what's going on. And we want to talk real quick about the Villain Retelling Anthology, which I'm so excited because we're talking about retellings today. We have the Villain Anthology coming up. Submissions are now closed. We are going through the submissions, and those are going to be announced to the authors who are in later this week, which we're really excited about. And then very, very soon to the public. So if you guys are excited about our Villain Anthology, go ahead and let us know. And just because we can, we are going to be announcing our 2019 anthology topics very, very soon in the next couple of weeks. So make sure you keep an eye out for those. We're going to announce it here on Young Adult Edition first if you guys want to get involved. Julie is here. She's saying, hey, we're super excited to see all of you. And speaking of being super excited to see people, it is time for us to bring on our guest star. Her name is Annie Sullivan. She is a debut author with her book, A Touch of Gold. We're so excited to have her here today. I actually met her recently, and we totally hit it off. Annie, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. So excited to be here talking about fairy tales, fairy tale retellings, which is the topic I love.
We're so excited, and you have an amazing retelling. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. And if you are here live with us or in our rebroadcast, go ahead and leave us your questions and your comments for Annie. We're going to be taking those toward the end of today's show. And if you're on the rebroadcast, we will be checking in with those and getting some answers for you as well. We would love to hear from you guys. Even if you are on our YouTube rebroadcast or over on our blogs, we would love to hear from you. But first, we're going to talk all about retellings. Connie says, ooh, that's exciting. And Alicia says, hey, Annie. So we've got lots of friends hanging out with us today, lots of fabulous authors, and we are going to be talking all about retelling. So if you are a retelling author who happens to be with us, go ahead and let us know. We'll shout out your book while we're here hanging out. And if you have a favorite retelling, now is a fantastic time to tell us what is going on with your favorite retellings, which ones we should be looking for, and which ones we should be reading. So let's talk all about retellings. Are you guys ready? I am so excited for this. This is going to be super fun. I want to dive in with one of those questions that comes up a lot when we talk about retellings, and that is, why do people love retellings so much? Why do we love twisted versions of stories that we've grown up knowing? So, Annie, you are joining us as our guest star today. I want to go to you first. Why do you feel people love retelling so much?
I think people love the familiar characters and seeing them in a new way or a different way, whether that's a different twist on a myth or just, a different, setting in a different era or something. I think people, they kind of know what they're getting into, so they can be excited about the story and still experience it in a new way. So it's that same happy feeling from your childhood, but just getting to experience it again.
Absolutely. Julie's in the comments saying all the retellings with a bunch of hearts. Connie loves retellings as well. Me too. I'm such a fan. Elle, why do you think people are absolutely enthralled with all of these retellings?
I agree with Annie. And I think it's more like the what if, like what if they did this instead? What if we introduced this instead? And it's just that what if that reimagines these classics and the love of these stories. And the what if breathes into these new worlds and everything. So I think that's why. Like we love these stories. We love these worlds and characters. And we just want to see more of them and maybe in different settings. And that's why I think people just devour retellings.
One of my favorite things about retellings is that it is this twisted take, and it makes us rethink what we thought we knew. So we thought we knew what the story was, but then we get to introduce other characters, other elements, other settings, other twists. And what if we didn't actually know what we thought we knew? And we get to explore this brand new world of something that we knew and we know, but is just a little bit different than we were told, that we grew up thinking, that we think right now, and we get to see this different side of things. And I love exploring those other sides, those other characters, the other perspectives, the twists that we could be doing. So I feel like that is one of the big reasons why people absolutely love retellings. Dorothy's in the comments and she says, yes, what if is an author's favorite question. And she is absolutely right. Dorothy, super glad that you are joining us today. She's got quite a few wonderful books out, and she happens to be a publishing sister of mine. So hey, girl. Really excited to have all of you here, though. And that what if really is kind of what works for all of us authors. What if this happens and what if this doesn't, and all of these things. So I feel like you hit the nail right on the head there. That is kind of our staple, which is pretty dang awesome. Hey guys, if you are having fun with us, if you're hanging out with us right now, whether you are live or on a replay, do us a favor, hit that share button, because that tells Facebook we are putting on a good show. This is something that your friends should see. This is something that people are going to like. And when you hit the share button, you help us to be able to bring on brand new people just like Annie to talk all about these fabulous book world topics. And we want to expand the show, so hit the share button and help a girl out. All right, ladies, I want to jump into our next question, and that is all about why we personally chose to do retelling. So without getting into details about our books, because we're going to get there in a minute, I just want to know, why did you choose to jump into the world of retellings? Elle, let us know, why did you jump into retellings?
Well, I guess that kind of like correlates with what we were just talking about. It's, well, what if this happened instead? Because the groundwork was laid with these amazing characters, these amazing concepts, and the fairy tale world and everything. But what if that happened? And the what if question, the author's question, is, well, what if? And I can write that because it's not done yet, or people need to see this view first. You know, like, it's just that there's so much offered in these worlds, in these folklores, fairy tales, mythology, all of that stuff. There's so much to be done and worked with that's why it's just so fantastical. Yeah.
Love it. Annie, what do you have to add?
Well, growing up, I always wanted to be a Disney princess. So
Yes.
that was like my thing. And so I think, I grew up with these characters and I love them. I wanted to experience them in new ways. And I also wanted to make them more modern, for girls today. Like, what issues are they facing? Do they have anxiety or body confidence issues? And so I wanted to write retellings that would, speak to those issues, but in a fun fantasy environment where, they can learn about them and learn about themselves and have kind of new role models that are still the same characters in a way that they've always loved, that they're kind of growing with them. And that's kind of why I love retellings, is you can focus on those characters who don't always get a story, or on the same characters, and just bring them to life in a new way.
Absolutely. Connie is saying, yes, there is so much to explore in fairy tales, and I totally agree. There's so many avenues that haven't been looked at within these fairy tales, and I love kind of taking that twisted bent to it. For me, I've always been one of those people that kind of questions what we know and what we don't know. And so I like to go ahead and jump in and actually say, well, I don't buy this version. Let's figure this out. And so I kind of like taking the unseen twist to this, which is pretty awesome. So guys, I've got another question for you. I want to know, and this goes to anybody, if you were out in the audience, I want to hear from you guys as well. What is one story that you would love retold? And ladies, we're here with me on screen. You can't say your own books. So outside of the stories that you have retold, what is one that you would absolutely love to have retold, whether it's a classic or a little known story? Which one? And in the comments, guys, join us and let us know, what would you love to see retold? Annie, if you could pick any story in the entire world to have retold, which one?
I think I would pick The Princess and the Glass Hill. And maybe I've mentioned this before somewhere, because I love that story. My mom always read it to me growing up, and it was just so magical. And I want to see a retelling do it justice, or really expand that story. And, how does this princess really get up on a glass hill? And, there's supposed to be these three different, horses, one of like bronze, gold, and silver maybe. And like, they come and they go up this hill and try to like not rescue her, but it's a complicated story. But I've always just wanted to see, like, how would I redo that? How would someone else redo that? Like, how could I play with that? Guessing that what if question.
That's fantastic. And interestingly enough, that's one I haven't heard of. So I'm going to have to look that up later, because it's kind of amazing. And if horses are involved, I'm here for that.
Right?
Yes. Elle, what do you think? If you could have any story retold, which one would it be?
I would love to do The Brave Little Tailor. I think doing like a modern twist on that, or even like a steampunk twist on that, would be really awesome.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. Wow. Okay, so that's kind of playing out now. I'm seeing some great comments down here. Donkey Skin. I actually don't know if I know that one either, but I'm going to have to look this up. This could be really cool. Connie says The Swan Princess. Oh, Connie. Connie, if you like the Swan Princess, you're gonna want to stick around because not me personally, but a project I'm working on has something connected to that. I think you're gonna like it. Also, I love the Swan Princess. Ladies on the screen with me, did you guys used to watch the Swan Princess movies? Because I loved those.
Yes, we used to dress up, my friend and I. She like dressed up as her for Halloween one year, so we kept using the costume later.
That's amazing. I want to see these photos. My gosh, that was one of my favorite movies.
But
that was one of my favorite movies, and I was always so sad it wasn't a Disney movie because I felt like it was right on par with Disney.
Right? Same with Anastasia. Like, I was like, why is that not Disney?
She is a Disney princess now. Now. She is.
That is true. That is true.
Power to Disney for like taking that on. But she is now a Disney princess.
It took a while, but she got there. She made it.
She did. Because
as with any
honestly,
princess, it takes them a little while to get there, right?
Right. Like she struggled. She struggled, but she got there. She got there.
Oh gosh, I love this. Hey guys, in the comments, let us know which is your favorite Disney princess. Since we're now having this discussion, just let us know and we'll answer that in just a minute. I see that Julie would love to do a Snow White retelling. Actually, Julie, just FYI, I actually have a really fun Snow White retelling. I'm not sure what I'm doing with it just yet. Back in the day, I had submitted it to some fun places, but I didn't quite jive with the agents who were looking at it, so I didn't do anything with it yet, but I'm trying to decide. But it's like the biggest, most amazing Snow White twist. I mentioned it to you before, Elle. It's pretty fun.
I read some of it.
Yeah. So we've got some fun things going on there. So Julie, stick around because at some point that will be available to you. I'm really excited for it. It's like huge. It's a big twist. I'm excited. But let us know, guys. What's your favorite Disney princess? Connie says she is excited to hear about the announcements with the anthologies. Yeah, no, that's going to be so good, right? I'm so excited. We are doing 3 anthologies in 2018, and we're going to be letting you guys know what those are soon right here on Young Adult Edition, and then publicly everywhere else, but here first, of course. Connie is also saying her favorite is Rapunzel. Guys, oh, I love Rapunzel. Selena actually says Rapunzel, too. Alicia says that she loves Jasmine. Elle, who is your favorite princess?
Okay, my non-princess is Moana. Like, Moana is just, she doesn't need a man or anything like that, and she's all for her people. But if we're going, like, classic princesses, I'd say Belle. You know, like, she is book savvy. She knows her mind, and she's really brave. You know, she has the courage to befriend the Beast, and in the end falls in love with him because she gives him a chance and gets to know his like personality and not judge a book by its cover, you know?
Annie, how about you?
Yep, I have to go with Belle. I always loved that she was a leader. You know, she is the one who, she went out to save her father. Like, she wasn't looking for someone to save her. Like, she was the one who was going to go rescue her father. So I love that she took that initiative, and she was smart and intelligent and didn't just give in to Gaston because that was what was expected. I mean, I'm talking about the Disney version here. And so, yeah, I just always, you know, loved her growing up. I was like, yes, I want to be like Belle. I want to adventure in the great wide somewhere.
Yes.
I'm not going to sing it. So you guys don't want to hear it.
We should totally easily start like a musical right here.
That would be so much fun. We should get everybody together and just do a sing-along. Like, I feel like that'd be great.
I think this is a pertinent time to mention that my high school choir nicknamed me Scuttle, as in the bird from The Little Mermaid that can't sing.
That is the most adorable thing, and I feel like that just needs to be a clip we put out on social media. Oh, gosh. We've got people agreeing with Moana in the comments. Dorothy loves Moana. For me personally, and if you guys are fans of me and you've been on any of my live broadcasts, you know I believe that I should be a Disney princess. The best job in the world would be to work as a princess in Disney, and I am more than a little obsessed with Disney princesses, and I have multiple favorites, so you're just going to have to tolerate me for a second. I am a big fan of Belle, of course. I'm a big fan of Ariel. I love Elsa. I love Elsa. I love Rapunzel, and then I adore Jasmine. Those are my 5 favorites, all for different reasons. I've been obsessed with them. I've had birthday parties for the ones when I was a child. Obviously, I haven't had an Elsa or a Rapunzel birthday party as an adult, but that should change. That really should change. For those of you that were following along with me in the last couple of months, for my 30th birthday a couple of months ago, my family actually threw me a mermaid-themed party, so I'm just going to claim it as Ariel. It was adorable. It was because I have my mermaid series coming out, so my sister happened to come in from 8 hours away, and she and my mother conspired together to keep me out of the house, and then they decorated in all mermaid stuff. So I think adult-themed birthday parties are fun, right?
I think so too.
Well, for 31, we're going to have Rapunzel-themed. I think it will be fun. We'll invite you all. It'll be great.
Well, see, I wanted to actually have a vow renewal with my husband for 15 years married, and I was gonna do a Wonderland inspired vow renewal.
Oh, I love that so much. I love that so much. And you just got that really adorable dress. I know it's not wedding-y, but She texted me this morning. She's like, I just bought this Alice in Wonderland dress, and it's the cutest thing. It's got the flowers and Alice on it, and just adorable. Maybe we should do that for your renewal. I'm just saying.
I can come in my giant Belle costume. I have a massive, professionally made. I went for my 30th birthday because my birthday is right before Halloween. I always do a Halloween, dress up party. So I went all out last year and got a huge Belle dress, and my family dressed up as Cogsworth and Lumiere, and it was so much fun.
That's cool.
That's amazing. I demand photos of this. We just need to have, we're going to do, okay, guys, future episode, all of the authors who are here hanging out with us in the comments, I want you guys to be involved in this too. We're going to do a dress-up party here on the show, and we're all going to dress up, and it's going to be amazing. So if you want to be involved in that, please leave me a comment or DM me, and we're going to make this happen. I throw Halloween parties where we all dress up, and I have the last couple of years, but we're just going to do a fun summer dress-up type deal at some point, because how much fun, right?
Yeah. I'm in.
We've got lots of comments coming up here. Let me see. Alicia recently went on a Beauty and the Beast movie binge. Love all the costumes. Yes. Yeah. Love all of the fabulous Beauty and the Beast stuff that we've got going on. And if you actually need recommendations for Beauty and the Beast movies, aside from the Disney ones, Elle has some great ones. Drop her a comment and she'll leave you some information a little bit later on. Connie is saying that she's totally coming to my Rapunzel party. Yes! Right? That's so much fun. For those of you that can't tell right now, I've got the world's longest hair. It's ridiculously long. So it's kind of fitting for Rapunzel. Alicia says, you have a Jack Frost story coming. Do an Ice Queen costume party for the release. Yes, I do have a Jack Frost story coming out this fall, and I totally should do an Ice Queen costume party for the release. That would be so much fun. I may or may not have costumes. If you go through my fine art photography, you will see them. They're there. Some of them are behind me here. But yeah, we should totally do that. We're just going to start dressing up for everything all the time. There's never not an excuse to be dressing up at this point. Connie is saying that none of us look 30. Well, thank you, Connie. We appreciate you, Connie. Connie's our new favorite author.
Yes.
Connie has a bunch of fabulous things that she says to us all the time, and she is a great author friend of ours here at Young Adult Editions. If you've not checked out Constance Roberts, make sure you do that. Just a little side note there. And she's totally dressing up for the party. Wait, I'm in for the dress party. Yes, she's totally dressing up with us. It's gonna be fun. Lots of fun. All right, guys. Now that we've had all of our conversations about the princesses and dressing up, and we've got new parties planned, we're going to have so much fun with this. We are going to move on just a little bit because we want to talk about our retellings. So if you are a fan of retellings, we've got some good ones for you. We've actually got a surprise for you in just a little bit. We're going to be giving you samples of some amazing retellings. We've had a couple of authors who have given us first chapters of their books. And you are going to be able to get this sampler ebook with these first chapters of all these different incredible retellings right now for free. Well, right now in 5 minutes for free. We're going to give that to you guys. We're going to get that to you while we're on air. So So we'll explain how that works in just a few minutes, but first we're going to jump in. We're going to tell you just a little bit about our retellings because everybody here happens to be a retelling author. We're super excited for it. So I guess we will jump in and we will talk all about that. Annie, we're going to get to you in just a minute because we're doing a full interview with you. But Elle and I are going to jump in and talk about our books first. So let me jump in and do mine because I've got mine sitting right next to me, and we're going to talk all about my 1,000,001 retellings. So you guys know I am known for my retellings. Not that I exclusively do retellings, but I do have a lot of retellings, and one of my favorites is the Golden Trilogy, which is Goldilocks and the Three Bears. So Goldilocks was never naive. She was sent on a mission, and Dove Bear is her new target. And it tells the story of Goldilocks, who was trained to be sent on a mission to destroy the bear family. And so she was sent to them, and she is supposed to kind of pose as this victim, only she ends up losing her memory because she gets hit in the head, and she has to figure out why she's there with them. And when she does, she realizes she was sent on this mission by her only remaining relative, her cousin, who is kind of a horrible person. And along the way, she discovers that the bears are not as bad as she was told, and she has to figure out how to play both sides, how to protect people who she needs to protect, and bad things happen. And you guys know cliffhangers and torture and all sorts of fun, fabulous stuff. So Golden is my Goldilocks retelling. I also have Virtually Sleeping Beauty, which I'm really excited about. This is actually a novella, and it is the story of Sleeping Beauty, and she's trapped inside of a virtual reality world. She's asleep in our world in a chair. She cannot get out of this game, and so she is with her godmother, who panics when she does not wake up from this game. She's only allowed to be in for a few hours before the system kicks her out, and so she calls her nephew. Her nephew rushes over. He's one of those popular jock guys, and he goes into the game to try to save poor Aurora, and when he gets there, he discovers that she really doesn't need his help. She's kind of better at this game than him. She's, in fact, the second-ranking person inside of this game, and she is ready to take on the evil queens and the magicians and the digital dragons, only she does need his help just a little bit, but mostly he's there to be eye candy. It's a pretty fun little story. And then, of course, we also have Along Came a Spider, and They'll Come Home, which is really hard to see two of them on the screen there. This is my retelling of Little Miss Muffet with a hacker twist to it. So Little Miss Muffet, Spider, Little Bo Peep, all these nursery rhymes are hackers, and they have to fight against the Piper, who is trying to destroy their society and really destroy all of the technology. Only we discover that not everybody is who they say they are, and one of them is a double agent, and Little Miss Muffet's going to find out just what a spider bite can be. It's fun, it's fabulous, and then in the follow-up to that, this is actually Little Bo Peep's side of things. So Little Bo Peep is the leader of their group, the Legends, and she is kidnapped by the Piper. And so in the first book, they're off to find her. Then we get to find out what happens while she is in captivity. And all of these short stories, these are short stories, novelettes, and they lead into the main series, which comes out this fall. I'm so excited for it. And then if we're continuing on, because we are, I do have my Jaded book, which is not actually a retelling, but people say they think it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. So it's got a lot of Beauty and the Beast vibes. It is not a retelling, but I'm just going to toss that out there. Elle actually calls it the YA dystopian Mr. and Mrs. Smith, because you never know who's going to die or turn on each other, and it's just big and dramatic. Then, of course, we have my Little Mermaid retelling. That was hard there. Sorry, guys. My Little Mermaid retelling is inside of the Deep Mermaid anthology, which is pretty dang cool. It's a dark, twisted version of The Little Mermaid, where it's a human going into the water and she's fighting to get her legs back, and the prince is trying to help her, but is he? We don't know. Things happen with this. Sea Witch wants to silence her, but not for the reasons that you think. It's interesting. So we've got that in there too. And then I also have The Goose Girl and the Artificial, which is a Goose Girl retelling with artificially intelligent robots. It's inside of the Magic at Midnight anthology. Both of those will be independent novellas later on this fall, which we're really excited about. And then, as Connie pointed out, somebody pointed out earlier, sorry, I don't remember which one it was, I do have a Jack Frost retelling coming out this fall. There's a weather machine, it's out of control, and the only one that can save them is Jack Frost. It's very interesting, so we'll see how that goes. If you've got questions on those, feel free to let me know, and if you want the first chapters of each and every one of those, it is in the sampler, I'm going to give that out to you. And a number of them are currently free on all the buying platforms. So if you want them, you can actually grab most of them. Pretty dang fun. Elle, I know you have a couple of retellings coming out. Tell us just a little bit about the one that you're doing that's not in the villain anthology. We'll come back to that.
Yeah. So this one is sorry, a little bit of feedback. This one is a Cinderella retelling, but it goes in line of the what if. And it's not your typical Cinderella retelling where it's this poor girl. She's a goddess, and her sister teams up to kick her out and send her to the mortal realm. And she is cursed with this mask on her face that she cannot take off. Only one person can take it off, and it is the prince of this kingdom. And she is tasked with trying to rectify getting her powers back, taking on her evil sister, and saving this kingdom from erupting chaos. And the mask is the key to the chaos. If it comes off, chaos erupts. And that was exactly what her evil sister wanted. So it's it's an interesting take on a classic tale. And it's all about girl power, really. There is some characters from the original that you'll see in there. And I just wanted to do something really interesting.
And it is interesting. Alicia is saying it sounds like a great twist on Cinderella. So we're super excited for that. That comes out a little bit later this year. We're going to keep you guys posted on all of this right here on Young Adult Edition. And we're going to jump over to Annie. But before we do, if you are interested in this sampler, you would like to read the first chapters of a bunch of my books and a bunch of fantastic retellings by other authors, we are going to go ahead and let you do that. What I need you to do right now, whether you are on our live broadcast or our rebroadcast here on Facebook, I want you to type retelling sampler into the comments. When you do, I'm going to pop up in your direct message inbox, and I am going to get you that freebie so you can download those free sample chapters right now. If you are on our YouTube or our blog rebroadcasts, we're going to leave it in the show notes for you so you can click on that link and you can get that downloaded. But if you're here live, it's going to pop up right in your direct message inbox simply by typing retelling sampler into the comments below, and you can get your hands on a copy of this to see which is going to be the right fit for you guys. All right, we are now moving over. We're going to talk all about Annie Sullivan's brand new book, A Touch of Gold. I'm so excited. Elle and I actually got to read a synopsis of this, and we're kind of dying. I am thrilled to pieces with this. Annie, before we jump in with all of our questions, all of our comments, I want you to tell us, what is A Touch of Gold all about?
Yeah, so here it is. Here's my art copy. I don't know if you guys see that or not. But so it's all about the cursed daughter of King Midas, who kind of has these gold powers that she's trying to learn how to control and what to do with them, and they're getting harder and harder to hide. And then what happens? But her father's gold gets stolen, and because she was turned to gold as a child, she has some leftover side effects from that. One of which she can sense the other objects her father turned to gold because she was once one of them. So when those objects get stolen, she has to be the one to go out and find them and bring them back. And there's pirates and sirens and thieves and betrayers and so many twists and turns on this journey where she's kind of, learning to go out into the world because she's kind of been sheltered in the palace since being turned to gold as a child by her father because, another side effect, she has golden skin, which is kind of makes her an outcast. There's just so much going on in this story. And again, it's kind of that what if question, what if we talked about King Midas' daughter, because she gets forgotten so much in the original myth, kind of just a moral lesson of, King Midas turns her to gold, but then he turns her back. So, that's it. He learned his lesson. But what about this poor girl who got turned to gold, So that's kind of, what it's about.
And I'm so excited about this. I know a number of my fans and my friends, when I mentioned that you were coming on the show today, they were so excited because they had heard about your book. They wanted to read it. Lots of fun and fabulous things. Alicia says, sounds fantastic. She cannot wait to read it.
Thank you.
And I know, as I was kind of going through information about this book as we were preparing for today's show, I had major Frozen vibes from this. I was so excited because I'm a big fan of Frozen. I absolutely love that movie. And I feel like if people are a fan of Frozen, they are going to just absolutely eat this up. And I know you mentioned while we were talking before the show that you wrote this beforehand, right?
Yes, I did. And it does have some similarities to Frozen. So then I was like, oh no, it'll never get published. But it is so different in other ways that it really does stand out. But yes, it definitely has some Frozen vibes to it. So I think if you like that, you're really going to love this story.
I really think so too. And I know just from reading what we were doing to prepare for today, I saw some like very big twists within the story of Midas, but also within things similar to that. So not only do you have all of the things that we loved about Frozen, but like so much more. I'm so excited for it. And Connie says, it's so cool to take minor characters in fairy tales and give them their own story. Yes and amen to that, Connie. Absolutely love that. And we know we've got so many friends who do retellings, and they always find these really amazing twists to it. And I feel like with this one, we get to see so much more. It's not only an expansion of that story, but it's a totally unique twist to it, which I love. Elle, I know you've got some questions, and I talk a lot, so let me let you ask some questions before I take over the entire thing, and we'll just kind of go back and forth.
All right. So I actually wrote down a few questions. I'm just going to pull them up so I can look at those. Right. What do you believe are some challenges that are faced while writing retellings? And what were your personal struggles?
I think one of the main struggles with writing retellings, or one of the challenges, is how much should you stick to the original myth and how much should you verge off? Because if you verge too far off, some readers may not like it, but then other readers may want that kind of twist. So I think it's finding that balance. I think for me personally, especially with A Touch of Gold, it was very much about figuring out the Greek mythology and how much did I want to stick to the original, kind of mythology versus adding new twists and new things that readers are going to love. And so I tried to keep a lot of mythology while adding just a few new characteristics to certain characters that would kind of, take things in a new direction and just kind of add my own twist to the myth. So I think that is kind of one of the biggest struggles. But as long as you balance it well, you'll be
right. Right. What character do you relate to the most in the story?
It's funny because Princess Cora, who's the daughter of King Midas, everyone probably thinks that I relate to her the most because she's kind of she starts out like a shy character because, she's got this golden skin, she's kind of an outcast, but then she transforms into a much stronger character. And I do love that, but along for the journey is her cousin named Hetty. And Hetty is just a spitfire character who, I don't know, I guess she starts out complaining a lot, but she's just so funny and got such a funny wit that I love her so much. And you kind of want to be friends with her at the end, maybe not at the beginning, but she really comes a long way. And so I love her.
Do you write with a playlist of music or do you write in silence?
I definitely write with music. But people probably think I'm the strangest person ever because I will turn on the same song on repeat over and over again. Yes. I'm glad I'm not the only one because, and every couple days I might change the song, but for a day or two, I'll listen to the same song maybe 100 times. So just because I just start to tune it out at that point. I don't even hear it. And that's when I know I've kind of come out of the world is when I start to hear the music again. And I'm like, oh, maybe I should take a break.
Exactly. I do the same thing. I send KM music for her. I create all of her playlists.
She does.
I do. I love creating playlists. So
we need to talk then.
I have my own playlist for my own stories too.
She's amazing at it. We did a whole episode on playlists, and whenever I have anything I need music for, I go to Elle. And if I need a photo from Pinterest of a character, I'm just like, Elle, could you please? And 5 minutes later, she's got the perfect thing. So Elle is amazing at character photos, and then more so at playlists. She's really, really good at those. So you should definitely.
The second job doing that, I'll pay you. Be like, I need a playlist right now. I'm stuck. Writer's block. What have you got for that?
Send me the book, and I can do it.
It's so funny. She does that for her candles too. She actually makes bookish candles. And so she's got the book. She's just like, playlist, candles, character photos, done. Really funny. Okay. But yeah.
All right, back to sorry about that.
Sometimes we talk over each other and we're just like, cool.
Yeah, it's okay.
I was just going to say, I definitely do the on replay with particular songs because it turns into white noise for me. Mm-hmm. And if I don't have it as white noise, like if I don't know it so well that I can tune it out, I type the lyrics accidentally into my stories. It's a thing. Yeah. But anyway, fabulousness with those playlists. Go ahead, Elle. Do your next question before I interrupt you again.
No, that's all right. It's all right. Who do you believe influenced your writing the most?
Well, I love Jane Austen growing up, and so I think she is a huge influence. And Meg Cabot writes really like stream of conscious that I sometimes like if I read her stuff, I can like find myself writing like her, and I love her work. So I think those two, and probably Madeleine L'Engle. Like I just loved A Wrinkle in Time growing up. So I think those kind of authors really influenced me, and of course my family. Even though they're not writers, just being around them and learning. I think a lot of my family has like a really quick wit, so I try to like, incorporate some of that into my stories and different things like that. But I think those three authors would be the ones that really kind of take hold of me.
Now, on that note, I'm going to jump in real quick, and I didn't talk over you this time, Alan. That was pretty good.
I let you talk. I know.
You saw that I was going. Yes. We're just on the same channel at this point. Point is, on the note of Jane Austen, and I know you've got pirates and ships and all that fabulous stuff inside of your story, I am doing a series of author interviews, which I think you're going to be really excited about because I am tomorrow going to be talking to author Frida Matthews, who has a pirate story called Inherited. I'm going to tell you guys about this in a little bit at the end of the show, but she has actually pitched this. Like I asked her to kind of tell us what her story is about. It's literally Jane Austen meets Pirates of the Caribbean. So you may want to check that out. I'm just saying tomorrow. All right, I'll keep going with your questions.
Okay, what are some of your top favorite retellings? I know it's hard, but if you want to list 2 to 5,
Well, I think number 1 is probably like Cinder right now by Marissa Meyer. Like I just loved that whole series of Lunar Chronicles. So definitely shout out that one. Percy Jackson books are a lot of fun too. I'm trying to think like what other ones I've read recently. There's so many good ones. Shannon Hale has a whole bunch of ones I love. Robin McKinley has, like Beauty and The Outlaws of Sherwood, which I loved growing up. So I guess I'm naming more authors than by them would just be amazing. I love all their stuff.
What is your favorite retelling that you have read?
Oh, that's such a tough question. I might again have to go with Cinder. I loved that, it was such a different play, and I love the intricacies. It almost was like Into the Woods, if you've seen that musical, but it was, with different fairy tales and a young adult, sci-fi futuristic world. So I think that was just the way it was done was amazing.
Now, I know you can't go into much, but are you working on anything else?
I am. So hopefully this book will have a sequel. We'll see. Still deciding on that. And then I do have a Goldilocks retelling, just like KM, except totally different. So there's a couple different things. Like I've got so many retellings. Like if there's a fairy tale out there, there's like a 75% chance I've at least tried to retell it. I'm not going to say it worked, but so yeah, I've got a couple different things that I'm working on, and I'm hoping we'll see the light of day soon. So we'll leave it at that.
That's so exciting, and I know for a fact that Elle and I are going to grill you when we're off air because we want to know.
Yeah. Yes.
We do have a question down in the comments. Connie is saying that she is a huge fan of book crates. Can you tell us if your book is going to be a part of any YA book crates coming up, or is that something you would maybe consider doing?
I would love to be a part of book crates. I don't think, at least not in the U.S., let me put it that way, at least not in the U.S. there's going to be any. I don't even, it's complicated. I don't even know what I'm talking about or not. But Yes, as far as I know, no. Although I talked to one group and they were like, oh, if we'd known about it earlier, we would have included it. And I was like, no, that would have been great. So yes, not right now that I know of, but hey, you never know.
Now, I know you actually get involved in a lot of different things. You've got some cool events that you've recently done and that are coming up soon. So I know you just did a book signing in New York, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did that go?
Oh, it was amazing. So that was actually at Book Expo, and BookCon. And if you've never gone, you need to go. Like, it is amazing. There's just that's where I met Marissa Meyer, author of Cinder, who I was just like, and Gail Carson Levine. Let's talk about retellings. I mean, she wrote Ella Enchanted, was there, and she was so nice to me. I mean, I met her at a party and she was like, do you know anyone? And I was like, no, I'm from Indiana. I don't know like anyone here at this exclusive party in New York. And she's like, well, just come sit with me. And she was so nice. So that was amazing. I mean, just meeting these like people who I've always just loved, I mean, Rick Riordan was there and Brian Sanderson and all these huge name authors. And there I am being like, do I belong here? I mean, there's Cassandra Clare over there. Like, this is just crazy. And the signing was amazing. I mean, as you can probably tell, I'm a bit of a talker. And so when I was standing in line, for all these big famous authors to get books signed, because I'm still totally a fangirl, I would meet all these other people. And so I tell them about my book and they'd be, oh, that sounds cool. So then they actually came to my signing. So I was so worried I wouldn't have a line. And I had a huge line. We actually ran out of books. And so it was amazing. It was like, I just want to go back every year because it's like Disney World for book people. Like, that's what I'm just going to call it.
There you go. That's probably the perfect way to pitch it. And I feel like they should use that as their new tagline for the event.
Yes. You can crop out this video right here of me saying it. It's the Disney World of book events.
Okay, so we're actually going to clip that up and we're going to tag them in that. So guys, give that a little love when we do that. And I know you've got some more events coming up. Your book is releasing in August, and I know you have a signing near you. Tell us just a little bit about what we're looking at for that one.
Oh, yes. So if you live in Indianapolis or Indiana, please come. It's open to the public. It's at one of the Barnes & Noble, and you can find me. I think we'll be putting my links in the comments later, so you can definitely check that out and get all the details. It's going to be a massive party. So I'm not married. Shout out to being single. And so I'm kind of treating this like my wedding. Like, okay, I went to a cake tasting, you guys, on Saturday morning because I am getting like a wedding size cake. I'm not even it's huge. Okay. And it's going to be covered in books. And so I got to pick a whole bunch of book titles that I love. And they're going to be decorated around this cake. So please come and eat cake. It's going to be amazing. I've got a selfie station with a gold glitter background because of course, everything has a touch of gold on it. And so it's just going to be so much fun. I'll do a reading, do a Q&A. And I've got a couple of those events actually around Indianapolis and maybe even doing one in Chicago in October. So yes, please follow me if you want details or free cake.
Why do you have to be over there? I want free cake. Come to Massachusetts.
I have a lot of people in Philadelphia who are like, come see me. And I'm like, I'll try and get there at some point.
Girl, I'm 3 hours from Philly. If you do, we're totally going to hang out.
Yes. Okay.
Don't forget, there is a book fest in Boston. I'm just saying, there's.
Well, we'll all go to Boston then.
Yeah.
We'll just do a young adult edition authors meeting in Boston. It'll be so much fun. I'm crashing at your house now.
Yeah, okay. You can sleep with Maggie.
Yes, that's a puppy dog.
Oh, I love dogs. I would totally snuggle.
Well, you can come crash too. I'm inviting everyone to Elle's house.
Okay, good. Party at Elle's.
It'll be so much fun.
I can set up tents out back. I have 2 acres, so you guys can just
It'll be our own book circus. It'll be amazing, guys. Or you can if you're in. Let us know.
Who's coming to my house?
Oh gosh, this is gonna be so great. We really should just form a little group here on Facebook and kind of do these different author events and just crash each other's houses. It'll be awesome.
Mm-hmm. I have extra bedrooms. Come on in, guys.
Yes, you heard it, guys. She invited us. Let's go. Now, I know in addition to all of your in-person events, we actually have something planned with you and me. I'm very excited about this.
Yes.
We're going to do a live broadcast launch party for Annie in August. We're going to drop all the details on our social media when we have that set up. We're working on all the details right now, but it's going to be so much fun. We're going to play games. We're going to do all sorts of fun, fabulous things. So I hope you guys will join us for that as well. Connie is saying that Indiana's only like 4 hours away. Well, Connie, get yourself in your car and go hang out.
Come see the world's most amazing book cake. Oh, okay. Oh, I forgot something really cool that I can't really talk about yet. But there's going to be something unveiled at my book launch that is going to be amazing. You have to see it in person to really, you just have to. So, yes, I can't say much more about it, but you need to come. I'll post pictures afterwards, but.
I was going to say, would you take some photos, maybe some video, and then send it to us and we can share it here on Young Adult Edition after your launch?
I will. Okay, it's going to be amazing. I'm so excited about it. I can't wait to share it with you guys.
I'm so excited to hear about this. I'm totally going to bug you until you tell me when we're off air.
Okay.
I'm jealous. I want to be there.
One of the perks to being friends with other authors is that you get all the behind-the-scenes details behind the scenes. It's kind of amazing. So I'm just saying, if you're an author and you want to be friends with us, get all the details. It's awesome. We'd love to have you join our little group of friends. All right. If you guys have questions for Annie, now is a great time. We want to talk all about her book, A Touch of Gold. And Annie, I know you've got some interesting characters in there. How did you come up with kind of what you were doing for Princess Cora? So I know she's got a lot going on in her life. Did anything kind of inform her personality, or did it strictly come from what you believe would have happened had she been turned to gold as a child?
I mean, I think a lot of it came from that experience. I really thought, if you've been turned to gold, what does that do to your life? What does that do to you? And if she still has these side effects, like having golden skin, everyone kind of sees her as this outcast, and there's these rumors that follow her around. Can she turn you to gold just by looking at you? Can she, touch you and turn you to gold? If you, stare in her eyes, what's going to happen to you? All these kind of things. So, she wears veils and gloves and kind of hides away a little bit. And so that kind of informed her personality at the beginning, of someone who was kind of a little bit more shy, more reserved, who wanted to rule, who wants to be this queen, but it seems like no one wants her to be that. And so she kind of just, stays back in the shadows until she's kind of thrust into the limelight in a way. And so I think that informed a lot of her character of and she kind of has a negative self-view at the beginning of well, no one's going to love me. I have golden skin and I'm an outcast. And just kind of how she comes into her own as she goes on. She takes off the veil and kind of comes out as as a real human. It's I can love myself no matter what. Kind of person. I think that character arc just informed everything about her. And so, yeah, and I really hope that young girls can kind of see that, maybe they see a flaw in themselves. And that's what Cora sees as a flaw in herself. But maybe they can say, okay, actually, maybe the thing that I thought was a flaw is what makes me the most unique, makes me the most beautiful in some way. So, yeah, sorry, kind of went on a long tangent there. But yes, her character definitely influenced by a lot of stuff.
That's fantastic. So I have to ask, this is all about gold. We're focusing on the color gold. So are you a big fan of the color gold, or did that kind of come afterwards? Because I know for me, I have a book called Golden, my Goldilocks book, and it is definitely about the color gold. And I liked it, but afterwards it became a big deal in my life. So is that kind of one of those, you've always loved it's always been your favorite, or did that kind of come in after, or are you completely sick of the color gold at this point?
I was never a big fan of gold. I don't know if you can tell from the screen how pale I am. I'm almost blending in with the wall behind me if I lean back long enough. You're where did you go? But so I can't wear the color gold. I've just never really been able to wear gold. Although, surprise, if you come to my launch event, I will be wearing gold. And you are welcome to wear gold too. But now that I've kind of, written this book, everything, I mean, you probably can't see it, but I've got this fun gold druzy necklace. It's like a geode kind of thing that's gold. I don't know if you can.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah. So now I'm oh, I should be wearing gold all the time. Because then again, it's also a great marketing piece. Oh, I love your necklace. Thanks. I got it because my book's about gold. But yeah, I think it's become a huge part of my life. just for the book launch. I went shopping this weekend, and I was like, I'll get a gold boa and a gold face mask and gold crowns. And so, like, I'm pretty sure my house is probably covered in gold glitter at this point as well. Like, you just roll around the floor, you're going to end up looking like Princess Cora because you're like, look, I'm all sparkly and glittery now. So yeah, it's kind of overtaken my life. And so now I do love it a lot more because it kind of has that special connection with this book. It's been such, it took me, I would say, about 8 years from when I started writing it, from like the day I started writing it to when it's coming out and being published. So it's color gold has grown on me.
Now, on that note, tell us just a little bit about your publishing journey. It's obviously taken you a little while to get from when you were writing it to this point. I know you've got some really cool stuff with your book now that you are coming out. So tell me just real quick kind of what your publishing journey has looked like.
Yeah, so I queried A Touch of Gold. And I actually didn't get an agent with it because it had a prologue, and I didn't realize that agents usually don't like prologues because they think then you can't write backstory if you have a prologue, which I get on some levels. And so that one didn't really go anywhere. But my greatest advice is if you're querying agents, keep writing, even as you're querying, like write the next book because you're just going to continue to get better and better and better. And so I had written actually a couple books, and so I queried what was then my third book because I didn't query the second one. And that was actually the Goldilocks one. And that got me an agent. And then, so we started to put that on submission just a little bit. And that while we did that, I completely revised what became, A Touch of Gold. And my agent thought that was way stronger. So we pulled Goldilocks, went out with A Touch of Gold, and that one finally sold. I mean, so it was a couple years, in there revising and doing all that kind of stuff. So I made it seem really short and nice, but of course it was really long and painful at times, but we got there.
And guys, if you are interested in querying, if you go over to readingtransforms.com, we actually have a full episode of RTTV all about querying and getting your submissions ready for that. So if that's something you're looking into, we have all the details from an incredible friend of mine, Anna Marie Evans. She worked for a number of really amazing publishers, and she's breaking down everything you need to know. So you can actually check that out. Just a little side note over there if you want to go learn about that. So there you go. Annie, before we wrap this up, I want to know one thing about your story, whether it's behind the scenes or something connected to your story, one thing that you have not told anybody else that we should absolutely know.
Well, this might come out in some blog posts, but I don't think it's come out yet.
That's okay.
Actually, I don't know if it did. Maybe it didn't. But we were talking about this beforehand, and I love happy endings. I love them. I feel like everyone should get a happy ending. My agent does not feel the same way. She's like, there needs to be something at stake here. So I will admit, I invented a character just to kill them off, which is really sad. And you would never suspect that when you find out who the character is, because they feel so integral to the plot. But yeah, I did that because someone needed to die.
So guys, when it happens, you know why it happened. You can blame the agent for that one.
Blame the agent.
Right? Thanks, Krista. Just kidding, I love you.
I feel like we probably need to clip that out and tag her in that. Just one day we will get her to come on the show. We'll do an agents episode, and we'll just grill her on why we're writing people in, and thank her for writing in a character that we all clearly are going to love, and then you're going to kill off.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Thanks,
yeah, my
Krista.
mom cried. I was like, I'm sorry, I had to.
You didn't have a choice. Okay, all right. So one more question, since we have to ask: do you cry when you kill characters off?
I haven't yet because I feel like I know it's coming. I mean, I might get a little misty-eyed sometimes, but I haven't like full on sobbed. When other people killed characters off, I'm like, why did you do that? But not me. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I just included you so you could die, so that's like your plot point, sorry.
I'm like that. When I know a character is going to die, because I almost always know the fates of all of my characters before I start writing them, then I'm okay, because I knew it was coming, I had planned it, it's something that was in my mind as I was working on it. But if I don't know that they were going to die, it's just like, oh my gosh, not good. And I actually have definitely had, I think, one or two characters I didn't know were going to die that did die, and I was just a wreck for like 2 weeks. It was terrible. The rest of them I'm okay with. Connie loves hearing about your query process. Yeah. we should really just have an episode where we have people come and ask questions about how people went about their publishing journey, because there's so many different versions of what you can be doing. And so I think it would be really great to have all these people who took these different paths come and talk about it. So that might be a future episode. Elle will write that down somewhere. We're going to remember that for later.
Yes.
All right, guys, if you have any questions for Annie, go ahead and leave us some comment love. We will be checking back after the show. Annie, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us all about A Touch of Gold and retellings and happy endings and killing off characters accidentally. We appreciate you being here. Before you go, let us know when your book is going to be out, and then I'm going to ask for how people can get in contact with you. So tell us just what we need to know about your book, where they can get it, and when it comes out.
Yes, so Touch of Gold comes out August 14th. And you can get it, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, IndieBound, independent bookstore. And if you would like it, if it sounds really interesting, please consider pre-ordering it, because, I'd love to write a sequel, and that's something, publishers really look at is, how many pre-orders do you have? And so please, spread the word about it if you're so inclined to tell others to pre-order, because that's so important. So yeah, that's where you can get it, coming out August 14th.
Fantastic. So Annie, where can everybody get in touch with you? Give us your websites and your social media links.
Yeah, you can get in touch with me on Instagram at ANNSULLIVA. You can find me at Facebook at author Annie Sullivan. You can find me on Twitter at ANNSULLIVA. Sorry, I always make sure I spell that right. And you can find me at my website, which I think is authoranniesullivan.com. Should know that. I'm terrible at marketing, apparently. But yeah, please reach out to me. And if you have questions about querying or anything else, you can find me. Just Google, author Annie Sullivan. You can reach me through my website or on Facebook. I answer messages there as well. And I would love to talk to you, help you any way I can.
And we're definitely going to have Annie on again, because it has been fabulous hanging out, and she is such a wealth of information, and obviously she writes amazing books. So we're totally going to have her back. We are going to do our live launch party with her in August, which we're so excited about. So if you want to see more of Annie, go ahead and leave us a comment below. And hey, listen, if you have other authors you would love to see on Young Adult Edition, or other topics you would love for us to explore on Young Adult Edition, leave us some comment love. We want to hear from you guys, because we are planning our future months here on Young Adult Edition. We're going to have a lot of really great stuff, and I am super excited for it. Now, before we say goodbye, I do want to let you guys know that we have a massive list of young adult retellings. There are over 40 on this list, and we are still adding to this list over on our blog post. They are books from us here on screen, but also from some incredible authors. You will be able to find that at blog.k.m.robinsonbooks.com. In just a little bit, it goes live as soon as we are done with the show here. We're going to put up the replay. It's going to be awesome, so you can check that out. 40 plus young adult edition books. And of course, you can get that sampler by typing in... Let me find it so I can put it on the screen here. You can type in Retellings Sampler, and you can get that in your direct message inbox right now, which is the first chapter of some amazing books from me and from some other authors as well. We hope you guys will check that out, and we'll totally love on these stories as well. And make sure you get Annie's story pre-ordered right now. It comes out August 14th. We're super excited for it. I can't wait to get my hands on it. Check out how gorgeous that is. Absolutely love that. And we are going to be, she's modeling, she's Vanna Whiting over here. We should just
additional fun fact, my hands are on the cover, not this cover, but a cover of a book.
Wow. Okay. Well, now we're going to have to do some investigating. Guys, if you find out which book Annie's hands are on, we'll celebrate you here on Young Adult Edition. I don't have a prize for you because I didn't think it through, but I'll give you an ebook. I'll give you an ebook if you figure it out. If you figure it out and you let me know in the next week, you win. All right. Julie says, so pretty. Yeah. J.M. Sullivan. She's got some pretty covers too. Guys, if you have, in fact, let's just shout her out real quick. J.M. Sullivan here, guys. She is the author of Second Star, which comes out next year. It is Peter Pan in space. I have read it. It's amazing. She's also the author of The Rise of Ursula, which is a short story, the origin of the Sea Witch. It's twisted, it's dark, it's going to make you want to throw a book at her head because we just want more of this story. It's so dang good. And she also has an Alice in Wonderland retelling called The Wonderland Chronicles. The first book is Alice, which is relaunching very, very soon in the next couple of months. It's basically Alice and kind of a mutated virus that turns everybody into these almost zombie-like things coming after her. She has to rescue her sister from this virus. It's so dang good. I chose the wrong ship in that book. It's a sunken ship for me, unfortunately, but Elle doesn't agree with me on that front. I definitely chose the wrong ship on that one, but definitely check out J.M. Sullivan's retellings, which you can actually access through the blog post over on blog.k.m.robinsonbooks.com. You can read all about those. And then we've got some other great retellings as well, so we hope you guys will check that out. Annie, thanks so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate you being here today. Any last words for our viewers?
No, I just love being here, and hopefully you guys will have me back soon, and I can't wait to chat with you guys again.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for joining us, Annie. We'll see you in the behind-the-scenes room in just a few minutes, and we cannot wait to have you back. If you want to come on at any point, you just let us know, and we will make the room for you to come on and join our little girl group. So thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate you being here, and we will see you again soon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am super excited because next week we have an amazing episode. We're going to be talking all about novellas, and we have not one, but two fan favorites joining us. We will be talking to author Amber R. Duell, who is the queen of heart-crushing novellas. Horrible Evil Woman just makes you want to sob at her novellas. They are so dang good. And we also have author J.M. Sullivan, who has twisted origin retelling novellas. We're so excited to have both of these wonderful ladies. We are thrilled, two pieces, to be hanging out next week. We hope you guys will join us. We're going to be talking all about novellas. J.M. Sullivan's in the comments saying, and a solid last name. Yup. We're going to have to connect you guys later. We hope you will join us next week for Young Adult Edition, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Facebook.com/k.m.robinson.books. We would love to see you and hear all about your favorite novellas. We want to hear all about that. And, of course, if you are joining us now, we want to hear all about your favorite retellings, so please let us know which ones we didn't talk about that we should absolutely be talking about today. Elle, go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Elle Beaumont Books. You can find me on Twitter at Elle Beaumont. And you can always find me on my website, ellebeaumontbooks.com.
Fantastic. And I am K.M. Robinson, author of The Golden Trilogy, The Jaded Duology, The Legends Chronicles, Virtually Sleeping Beauty, The Sinking, The Goose Girl and the Artificial, The Revolution of Jack Frost, The Siren War Saga, and a whole bunch of other books that are out and coming out soon. You can find me at k.m.robinsonbooks.com, where I have world portals for all of the behind the scenes of my stories. You can see artwork, there's videos, there's interviews, there's behind the scenes. And of course, you can hit me up at k.m.robinsonbooks on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. Also come over and check out my YouTube channel, where we have rebroadcasts from Young Adult Edition, all of my Facebook Lives, Instagram Lives, there's pre-recorded videos answering your fan questions, there's trailers, there's interviews, there's all sorts of fun and fabulous things. And you can check out my brand new channel over on IGTV. There's content there that some of it is crossover, but there's also totally unique content there as well. I would love for you guys to come check out my different shows on IGTV. We were just talking about twisted retellings on Twisted Tuesdays, but we have a number of other shows there that I would love for you guys to join me for as well. So hit me up at k.m.robinsonbooks on all the social media platforms. And before we go, I did want to let you guys know that I have a brand new series right here on facebook.com/k.m.robinsonbooks. For the next 2 or so weeks, we are going to be doing a massive amount of author interviews. So I have a number of them lined up this week. We've got some lined up next week, and we're going to continue on after that as well, but not quite as many in 1 week for that. We will be talking to author Megan O. Russell. I have a list here. We're going to be talking to author Megan O. Russell at 2:15 here on Facebook today. She's the author of Girl of Glass. I'm super excited to talk about her dystopian. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking to author Freedom Matthews at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. She has Inherited, which has been classified as Jane Austen meets Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm super excited. It's all about a pirate ship. I just love it, and you are going to love Freedom as well. Her fashion is amazing, and we're definitely going to talk about that. On Wednesday, we are going to be hanging out with Bethany Avery at 2:30. She is the author of Divine Love, and we are also going to be talking to Eliza Tilton at 3:45. Sorry, guys, had to check that. 3:45. She's the author of Broken Forest. I can't wait to be chatting with her. Next week, we're going to talk to author Karen Tomlinson, Amber R. Jewell, and some other incredible authors as well. It's going to be so much fun. And we have a brand new blog series with these authors and more authors who didn't necessarily want to jump on a live broadcast. These are quirky questions with fun answers. Unlike any of the other interviews you typically hear, we're not doing those, staple questions that everybody asks over and over and over again. These are brand new and usually pretty dang funny. We get some interesting answers. So I'd love for you guys to come join me on blog.k.m.robinsonbooks.com and right here on facebook.com/k.m.robinsonbooks to check out those live interviews and those written interviews. The live and the written interviews are different, unique questions. So you'll want to make sure you check out both of those. I would love to see you guys there. And we will definitely see you all next week as we jump in to our novella episode of Young Adult Edition. I almost called it Issue. That's our magazine, guys, over on Instagram stories. We're on episodes here on Young Adult Edition. We are going to hang out for our novella episode next week. Elle, thanks so much for joining me. I will see you again next week. Bye, guys.